Spontaneity Shop presents The Guilty Feminist 10 for 10 with me, Deborah Frances-White, and my very special guest, Alison Spittle. Alison Spittle,
Deborah.
Welcome to 10 for 10.
Yes, very exciting.
The Guilty Feminist is almost 10 years old.
Oh, don't say that.
It's true. And so we are hearing from 10 of our regulars and favourites
Yes.
who are going to come in and talk about the last 10 years of feminism and the next 10 years.
This podcast has become old enough to have a sentient personality and make me feel old. Like, the podcasts have now turned into children.
It's true.
Because children seem like a big passing of time. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I see a friend's kid and it's able to say proper sentences to me, I'm like, oh, Christ, I better freeze my eggs or do something. You know, the passing of time is coming. Yeah.
It's absolutely right. When you see a 10-year-old who's got interests and, you know, got a blog and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how many 10-year-olds have a blog, but that kind of thing, I think that's what 10-year-olds do.
Yeah.
They've probably got a podcast now themselves.
Some of them do, actually.
They do. And
Yeah.
you remember when they were in utero.
Yeah. No.
You think, oh, gosh.
I remember when their parents were doing ecstasy, you know?
Similarly,
Yes.
this podcast, if I'd had a baby
Yeah.
then, instead of starting this podcast, that child would now be
Grade 4 piano. What would it be doing? I'm trying to think of
probably a yellow belt in judo or something.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's my kids, so they'd probably honestly be pouncing about doing drama class and singing and stuff. But
Lovely.
I think
My kids would be cooking its own Dr. Utker's pizzas, you know, being able to make a microwavable meal, you know, look after themselves.
I mean, exactly, all of those things. But instead, we chose to have podcasts, Alison.
We did.
And to be honest, they keep you up less at night.
Yeah, look, and podcasts were such a new thing back then. Like, your one was probably, I think it might have been the first one that I ever guested on. It's definitely the first one I ever came across to England to guest on, for sure.
Did you come across
from Ireland? I lived in Ireland when I came over. It was the Museum of Comedy.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was like I had just written an article about it was kind of like the first time I was being serious or talking about something serious, and then I got a lot of attention for it, and it was the first podcast I went on to talk about that.
It was a feminist article. I remember it was called "Why Can't All Lads Be Sound Like Hosier?"
Yeah, that's it. And it was interesting because I was going on radio a lot, and with radio you have to say stuff within a 10-minute space and give the headlines of like what the article was about. You usually just rehash it. But with a podcast, and one of the good things about the Guilty Feminist is like you have time to ruminate on stuff. Like, you can ruminate on stuff for over an hour and a half in a podcast or over a span of like 5 years on issues or anything like that. So it's kind of cool in that way to be involved in it. You know, I remember being excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was such an exciting time, that time, 2016. It felt like that feminists were rising up. It felt like we were going out on marches. We were repealing the 8th. We were doing so many different things, and it felt so hopeful.
I felt so hopeful.
So hopeful.
Yeah.
And
oh my God.
I mean, I still feel hopeful in a different way now, but I feel hopeful at a different level of emergency now.
I know. It's interesting because I was excited about doing this interview, but also like I was going through my head about like, I don't want to be depressing on this podcast about the way the world has gone, but I don't know if it's just getting older, but like 10 years passing, I definitely was way more naive. I definitely had a feeling that like, because so my whole like journey of feminism came from like, I don't know, I was working class. I didn't know what a feminist was. I read Caitlin Moran when I was a teenager, and I was like, yeah, I agree with this, you know, but like didn't think anything more of it. And then in Ireland, because abortion rights weren't available to people, that was the first political thing I got involved in. It was the first like poster making activity that I did. And you're just chatting with other women and they're talking about their stories and you tell them yours. and you're like, okay, we have an aim. Great, we're going to change this legislation. And then here's a pathway to change that legislation. There's going to be a referendum. So there was a lot of hope and a lot of places to put our energy and a direction to put our energy in. And with the Guilty Feminist, there was that too.
And you won. And you won. And we did shows about Repeal the 8th as well.
Yeah. And in Norwich and stuff. I remember that. It was great to and it felt amazing to be Irish and to come over and have the UK actually ask questions and care. It felt great. Because I'm very lucky in a way that my generation, I'm 36 now, and so I came on when I was 26.
Wow.
And when I was younger, the generation that came before me and the generation that came before that generation to try and get abortion rights in Ireland, they were being ignored constantly. And I was just so lucky that I came in, and the 8th wasn't a possibility at that point. At that point, but then it just changed within a year. So I had seen a progression of an issue play out over a 3-year period. That's not normal. You know what I mean? It's not so I wasn't as jaded as the amazing people that came before me.
And exactly. And there were women who'd been working on that for decades.
Decades.
And
decades. But people who died and didn't see what happened in the end, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Probably before the Guilty Feminist, I wouldn't have described myself as a feminist.
Really?
Yeah, because I just thought feminists were people who just did more for feminism than I did. I was contributing the least out of all of the people involved in the abortion rights movement. I wasn't on any panels. I wasn't going to monthly meetings. I turn up to a march or I turn up to do a poster thing, but that's about. And maybe I'd MC a quiz, just stuff that I want to do. So I'm like, I like a march. I like hosting quizzes. I'll do that, And so I don't think I would have described myself as a feminist, but I just wouldn't have described it because I felt like that title should be given to people who actually properly put in the work. And I was in my 20s and going on the piss and having fun. So,
But actually,
I was in it
your
for the
writing was very feminist. I think everyone needs to bring their skills that they have.
Yeah.
So if you are an artist, which you are, if you are a journalist, which you are, you were writing articles like the Hosier article.
Yeah.
I think you were bringing far more than you realised.
Yeah, but you don't, but you don't see it that way. I just see everything I'm not doing. And that would be organising or...
That's why we started the Guilty Feminist, really, because... I felt that. I felt like, well, I'm a feminist, but am I doing this right?
Yeah.
And I said to the audience, I want to learn about this. I want to get better at this. Will you learn with me? And I think that I have learned so much about feminism in the last 10 years. And of course, I've become more confident in my feminism. I've been able to speak up more. I've listened to so many brilliant feminists on the show.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, absolutely, my attitude was the same as yours.
There was a big part of me that didn't want to be involved because there seemed to be a lot of rows as well within
that hasn't got any better.
I know. Yeah. That's true. But I think I looked at feminism like a messy polycule that I didn't want to be part of the polycule, but I'll fuck him occasionally. Do you know what I mean?
Can you define polycule for some of our viewers and listeners who might not know what that is?
Yeah, let me try. A polycule is like a formal relationship between people that are it's okay. So Camilla and Charles and Diana were an unofficial polycule. Would you say? Yeah.
What, because Diana knew
there
about
was 3
Camilla.
people in our marriage.
Yes. Yeah. So we were feeling very hopeful 10 years ago. You were coming over from Ireland. You were thinking we can repeal this 8th. You were a 26-year-old woman believing in better, believing in more.
Yeah.
over the last 10 years, what do you think our big wins have been?
Do you know, 10 years ago, if there was like a cup with the feminist on it, I'd be like, that's cool. That's great. It's becoming more. But now if there's a cup with feminist on it, I'm like, it's come on. I've lived long enough to see the word feminist be commodified. It's so weird. I do have this weird relationship with the word feminist itself. Like, in the way that, like, I think my first brush with the word feminist came off, I used to read The Viz a lot when I was a kid. And there's this woman, Militant Feminist or something.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know, that was my only understanding of what a feminist was. And then the Caitlin Moran book.
But that's the thing, is when we were growing up, feminists were seen as sort of somehow militant and unpleasant and sometimes predatory and all of those things, which we...
And a hatred of the family, and a hatred of men, and a hatred of nurturing.
And you're right, sometimes now feminism is commodified, but the fact that we're in a place where people can think, oh, I might be able to sell something with this word, means to me, and I don't want it to be commodified, but it means to me that it's completely been repositioned.
Do you know what's funny as well? The idea of, like, feminist men was so exciting to me at the start. I was like, it's great, it's a feminist man. But then scandals have come out, and now I'm like, oh God, you know what I mean? It's such a. I am hopeful. It's like, I am hopeful. I'm excited. I'm scared by a lot of stuff that's gone down.
Oh yeah,
and that's like that's been interesting to me. Like, everything is nuanced now. Before I was just like totally in favor of everything, and now everything is a bit more nuanced. And I like that the Guilty Feminist was a space to talk about that and to have these conversations. The Guilty Feminist has gone through a time of where we didn't know what the word TERF was 10 years ago. And the discourse has just moved on so much. I'm sad that Twitter is dead. I feel like Twitter was a good place to chat out stuff. I definitely...
And I don't feel Threads on Instagram has the same quality at all of engagement.
No.
I see, and again, a lot of negativity on there.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why people don't want to get involved. And I just feel like with what we're facing now, there is the rise of fascism now. We're seeing police state behaviours in America.
There's genocides. Multiple genocides.
And we just now, because you don't see the far right taking each other down.
No.
You don't see trad wives saying Andrew Tate is disgusting. Women are holy vessels. We're here to have children. He's talking about being a baby daddy to 10 women so that he spreads his alpha seed. We think that's awful. We don't see that. They don't talk about him. He doesn't talk about them. They don't take each other down. And I really believe if we will not get into solidarity now and coalition and just go, that's not struck me in exactly the right place, but I can see it's an act of solidarity, it's an act of coalition. I'm going to leave it or even endorse it. Yeah. Because what we need now is just as many people who are on our side as possible. And if we shush them and shame them and make it an angsty space where people don't dare step forward, I really fear for where we're going to go. We need coalitions now desperately.
Yeah. Well, didn't you, like, my idea of why the Guilty Feminist was set up, and I don't know, like, I'd like to ask you, like, why, but to me, the Guilty Feminist was a place to just be silly and to say I'm a feminist, but I'm also a silly goose, or I'm a feminist, but I haven't joined the AGM for this particularly feminist issue that I believe in.
Well, the first driver was genuinely wanted to be a good feminist, but felt like, well, secretly, I'm not doing all the things that very strident feminists in the media are doing or saying, or they're so certain.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that certain, and I didn't feel I was that good at it.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I want to get better with the audience. And I think it was one of the first podcasts where
This is one of the first podcasts.
It was one of the first podcasts where it wasn't like, I'm an expert going to tell you.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to perform for you. It was more like, shall we talk about this together? Does anyone else feel like they'd like to be involved, but they're not perfect? And I think it just got distilled later into the idea that you don't have to be perfect to be a force for meaningful change. And so sometimes people say to me, why guilty? Why guilty? And I'm like, because it's an exfoliation of guilt. It's somewhere to go, oh my God, I did this thing. And if everyone else laughs, you go, lots of people did this thing.
Maybe it's just because guilt is so inbuilt in my life. Like, I felt guilty for calling myself a feminist because I'm not doing enough.
But I think the reason we learned to change gears, and I think our best shows are always really funny up top.
Yeah.
Lots of great I'm a feminist butts, lots of good stand-up.
Yeah.
And then we change gears and we talk to someone about something that we really care about. And that's really, I think, what I always wanted it to be. I just didn't know what the right conversations were to have. Like at the beginning, all our guests were comics.
Yeah, they were.
And we just talked something through, you know.
It was like, it's like Top Gear for gender studies. Where, you know, you have your star, the reasonably priced car. It is a little silly, but then Jeremy sits in the Ford GTI. Really is a great car. And it's all like, it just felt incredible to be in a room with like-minded people. The audience to me were like the biggest guest of it, because you just knew that you're going to be in a room of a couple of hundred people or a couple of thousand people who were on the same page as you. So you didn't have to over-explain stuff. You never had to explain yourself.
I agree.
That felt great.
I absolutely agree. Like a place
I was like, I love abortions, you know?
Yeah.
You can't say that on off menu. Well, maybe you could, but like, you know.
But yeah, you can't guarantee in a comedy club on a Saturday night. There's
absolutely.
Well, the way
that was a big thing.
That's the way that I think about it, is that we were all in on the joke. And in a normal comedy club, sometimes you're the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
So the guy before you has come out and done jokes about his girlfriend being a bitch, or fat jokes, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you're meant to come out and take the mic as the butt of the joke, and you have to flip that around and then rise up to be funny. And in our space, we're in on the joke. And a couple of times early on, men came along and said, you need to make this a more inclusive space for men. And I just said, no, it's not what it's for. I said, if you're feeling a little uncomfortable here, that's a good thing, because that's the way we feel in lots of rooms.
Yeah.
And I said, I welcome men in the space. I want men. I wouldn't have known then to say cisgendered men, but I want.
Yeah, I love that. You wouldn't have known that. I know. Yeah.
But I want cis straight men in the space. Of course I do. And I have men on the podcast sometimes if it's relevant. But it is unapologetically a female space. And now again, I would say a female and a space for minority genders.
Yeah.
It is unapologetically that space.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, to me, the audience was the big thing. And I think people at home could hear the audience laughing and being angry and being shocked and being sympathetic and asking questions of the guest and saying, how can we help? And they could feel that energy. Yeah. Even when the audience were pin drop quiet, they could feel that energy, and they felt like they had an army. And I think that in the pandemic, I didn't know how to maintain that. And I think, apart from the fact that people were not commuting and, you know, they were just turning, as soon as the workday was over, they were turning off the Zoom and putting on the Tiger King or, you know, Enola Holmes or whatever. They weren't commuting or going to the gym as much, which is often when people listen to their podcasts. But I felt also I didn't know how to keep that spirit of the audience up. And I remember a lot of the most marginalized, you know, foundations and charities and things saying, please, we need help, we need money. Can you give us a voice? And I remember it becoming, I didn't know how to do, like, the piece with the audience laughing at our I'm a feminist but it felt very self-indulgent just doing it over Zoom to each other. You know, and then you can't do stand-up.
No.
You can't. You could, like, you're trying to do this kind of piece to camera, and it's just, we were just so used to, because all our shows had been live up until the pandemic. I don't think we'd ever done one show that wasn't live, that wasn't with a live audience. And I think I didn't really know how to manage the transition, because also I felt very low,
I do.
frightened.
Some of my saddest memories of the pandemic, I'm genuinely was doing the Guilty Feminist.
No, don't say that.
I'm going to be truthful with you, because like I would do it. And I remember once I was like crying. I remember that I felt so sorry for you. I was like, I was just having a really low day, and you're trying to
pretend to be funny, pretend to feel up. Yeah.
And it was so hard.
I remember
so,
you said
so
to me, we're meant to be playing the Hammersmith Apollo tonight. Do you remember we had a Hammersmith Apollo show in?
Yeah.
And you were really sad. And I didn't even remember the day.
I'm so sorry to,
No, I loved that you said that to me, and that you were feeling those things. But it was really, I mean, look, not that we're the real victims of the pandemic, but in terms of the relatability of this to people watching or listening, I think we underestimate the traumatic nature of not knowing. I think if we knew then it's going to be over, we're going to come back to our lives.
Yeah.
I think we could have got through it a lot better.
My favourite ever guest on the Guilty Feminist was the audience. Like, I loved doing shows in Ireland every year, because the audience would be encouraging me to be even more Irish than is, you know.
I'll never forget you describing the Rose of Tralee.
Yeah.
Can you just explain, because some people will be listening to this for the first time.
So the Rose of Tralee is a beauty contest in Ireland, where it's so Irish in the way the prizes were so small. It would be like, you'll get a crystal vase and maybe a rental of a car for a year.
That's what I found so funny. It was the lease. You get the lease on a car for a year
with the option to buy on a very reduced price. So that was because that's the reality. They say it's a car, but it's not. You get the car for a year, and then if you want, you can buy it secondhand at the end. And like, but Brianna, like, she entered the Rose Tree. She's from Australia. She's an incredible woman, and I think she's the first ever person to go on the Rose Tree and talk about abortion rights and stuff. So there's like loads of stuff that I'm like really proud of in Ireland. You get the opportunity to say, like, Lynn Ruan was another guest that we had, just an incredible working class senator, and she went on the Guilty Feminists talking about doing ecstasy. So she's a politician. And she's just talking about her lived experience of having a great time when she was younger. Wow. And she's so brilliant. And Tara Flynn as well, who took the brunt from the Irish media about, she was one of the first public people to say that she had an abortion, and to make people feel less weird about that. And that woman, I'm tearing up to think about, but we owe her so much. Like, she was absolutely destroyed by the media. Well, she's fine. She's great. She's an actress. She's all fine.
But it was a very traumatic time.
It was, because I knew her personally. So, like, yeah, that was absolutely traumatic.
And you booked us a lot of those guests. I remember you recommended who we should go to, and I'm sure put in a good word for us to get those guests.
I'm very proud of loads of the episodes that we did together. All of the episodes that we did together. And I'm not proud of the ones we did in lockdown, but that was my fault.
No, it was just
I came on like
time.
Everything's shit, Deborah. You know,
it was a really hard time. We didn't know how to cope with it, but but I feel like building the audience back up post lockdown.
Yeah,
like at the moment we're just about to do a series of first series of 5 shows for this Under the Road to Gilead theme, and I do feel very fired up about that. I do feel like, again, we've got a metric which is, if reform get in, it looks like we're in danger of losing a lot of our rights, women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights, and that, and seeing what's happening in America, that there's a real genuine move to take the vote away from women. And you think, well, that's not going to happen, but there is a genuine drive, and it goes up as high as the cabinet. You know, Pete Hegseth wants to. They're saying, no, we want 1 vote per household. And it's fine if the woman's running the household, but if there's a man in that household, they say it should go to the man.
My problem is, though, that Labour have turned into the Democrats in a way, in the way that the Democrats have always held, like, abortion rights over the heads of left-leaning people, to go, like, we need to save this. And it's like, you've had years to solidify Roe versus Wade, and you didn't do it because you wanted to go to your core voter base and go, we need to protect this. And it's like, but you can do that. But you didn't do that. And now the Republicans got in and they did what they said they were going to do. You never did what you said you were going to do.
And we have recently had a move to decriminalize abortion, which is, amazing. It's not all the way there, but it's much further than it was in terms of decriminalization. But we don't have a constitution. So reform, I think their first thing would be take away buffer zones around abortion clinics, then take 24 weeks down to 16 weeks, then to 12 weeks, then to 6 weeks. Then by that time, they would have public opinion.
And as well as that, like, I'm working class, and in Ireland, when abortion was illegal, the middle class and upper class women could get their abortions. They just had to pay the money to go to England to get it done. And with working class people, it's always like, this is the thing that drives me. Oh yeah,
the ruling class will always. That's why they don't mind taking it away, because they'll always have access to it.
Yeah.
But I do think you're seeing a shift now. The way that the Green Party is suddenly getting so many more members, the way that Mamdani is getting a drive behind. If people are really willing to go out there and say, yeah, this is what we think, and we will stick by our values rather than being Reform light or Trump light.
Yeah, because they're not gonna, those flag shaggers are not gonna, like, I don't want to go into.
But they're not going to vote Labour anyway.
Yeah.
They'd rather have full fat reform than diet reform.
Absolutely.
So I think, I feel very excited for the first time in a long time. I started to feel really burnt out.
Yeah.
Really down, really like, what are we doing here? We don't seem to be winning. And now I feel very turned on, very excited, very late, like that people are coming together, that it is possible, that coalitions will happen because they'll have to happen. Now, I remember your very first Guilty Feminist appearance extremely well, but I have a clip from it.
Oh, do you?
Yes,
wow.
that I thought I'd like to play.
Please welcome to the stage, Alison Spittle.
Alison Spittle.
The reason why we chose this topic for you is because you told me, I was so in awe of you when you told me, you've started reclaiming your space.
Oh, yeah. And number one, because I'm a fat girl, right, I always felt like I took up too much space, like physically. So, like, if a guy was sitting beside me on the bus, I would, like, tuck my legs in and make sure I was as neat. Like I would be like I was trying to be on a ship going to America or something like that, and being as small as possible, like a sardine, like palatable for this guy. And then the guy just sits with his legs wide open. And, I felt really weird. But I think public space, I've always tried to be shy and quiet and stuff. And I did this article. I'll talk about the time anyway I reclaimed it. So this guy, this absolute dickhead, right? I was in Dublin airport and I was walking. And this guy was walking into me. And he wasn't moving, and he got his finger, and he just put it on my chest and pushed me to the side and continued walking. Yeah, I told you he was a dickhead. I told you.
Was he wearing a suit?
No.
In my head, he's wearing a suit.
No, he was wearing a flat cap. He looked like a right arsehole, so he did. I was a little baba. Yeah. I could hear him sound shy. I'm like, oh.
That was me and Sophie Hagen interviewing you.
Me talking about not wanting to take up space.
Yes, absolutely.
But I sounded like I didn't want to take up space at all. But okay.
so interesting seeing that growth to who you are today. Do you hear that person? And although that person did you remember what the rest of the story was?
Oh no, I don't. And he was working for a taxi company, so he'd to stand there at arrivals with a little piece of paper saying such and such, I'm here to pick you up. So I got really angry and I turned around and I found him, and I just said, do you know what you just did there? And he's like, yeah, you wouldn't move out of the way, love. And I said, look, you no right to touch me. And he got really, really angry with me, and he was saying like, well, there's no danger of anyone touching you anyway. And then...
Fuck him.
I know. But he was very surprised that I turned around to go back to him. I felt like somehow I had won, because he was just... I mean, if you're scared or something, you kind of like analyze, would anyone want to fuck that person? Oh, okay, I'll tell them. You know, like they've lost the argument already if you're bringing it into that. So yeah, I felt kind of good about it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, thank you. I used to be really shy, and I used to take.
It's strange because like that story just gets repeated a lot in my life, which is like people going out of their way, strangers, to tell me they don't want to fuck me, as if it's the worst zinger of all time. So it's interesting. I didn't even remember that because that happens quite a lot. It's quite made me quite like, and
that kind of devastates me. That's
the case.
That people, how dare they? Is it always men?
Yeah. I think like it's interesting. I'm doing, so as we speak, in about 3 days, I'm doing a recording of a stand-up show that I did 3 years ago called Wet, and a lot of it is about like one of the stories about this predator in comedy, in Irish comedy. He's a promoter, and a lot of the stories are like me being shy, not wanting to piss off men, also kind of like this weird grappling as well, like because the article, why can't all men be sound like hosier, is basically about street harassment from the perspective of someone who's publicly unfuckable. You know, I didn't get catcalled because people thought I was attractive. I got catcalled because people wanted to tell me I was ugly.
God.
Well, it's
You're completely not. This is...
I know, but it's not. Yeah, I know it's weird because it's like, it's. I think from a young age anyway, I saw a lot of like trouble that my friends were getting who were conventionally attractive, and it didn't seem like something I wanted to be involved in anyway. And that's horrible to say, do you know, because my friends who are attractive, they've no choice in whether they are sexualized or not. They just exist, and therefore, and I'm just existing. But I have, like, I was going to say I have no choice. I do have a choice in a way that, like, even the show that I'm doing now, Big, which is about being fat, and there's a lot of, like, I think I went out of my way from a young age to try and not be sexualized. And that would mean not wearing makeup, or you should be allowed to do either or. Like, it doesn't matter. It's hard to talk about your own personal experience without having to do caveats for other people. Because, you know, I am aware. I am aware that people don't have a choice and all this type of thing. But the way that I went about the world was like a weird kind of relationship with my own body and the way that people see me. And I suppose being a female stand-up comedian, you have no choice in the way that people see you in the green room, because there's an automatic assumption that like you're going to be a tiny bit difficult, because by the default of being a woman, you might be offended if they say something, or, you know, whatever. And so I think I don't think I was ever properly aware that I was a woman until I started doing comedy, because then I kept getting told what women do, like what female comedians talk about, and why, like, I used to get compliments all the time that, oh, you're a female stand-up comedian, you don't do comedy about your vagina or about your sex life, and isn't that great? And I'd be like, yeah, fuck those bitches, because I loved compliments, like, and I always saw myself as a cool girl. It's so fucked up, like, just the way that you go about your day-to-day life, just to be more acceptable to people. So
but we all need community. We all need validation. And if it is consistently robbed from you, and you are getting the opposite of that, where it's a scarcity culture, where you can get a compliment, you'll take it. And when you were too young to, at that time, clearly to think through what you're not like the other girls means.
Yeah.
And you were just holding on to anything that would allow you to feel validated.
I would see the way that my friends are treated by virtue of them being attractive, and I'd be jealous that they were bought drinks because it cost me money to buy myself a drink. But I wasn't jealous of the Takeshi's Castle obstacle course of sexual assault that they would have to deal with. And there was this weird thing where I was like, well, if I'm as unattractive as possible, I can avoid that. And that didn't happen. And I think why I got into stand-up comedy as well is because I saw being a stand-up comedian as being seen through my worth of being funny and not how I look. And it's weird, kind of like, 10 years looking back now, and you're like, oh, that wasn't the case, but you don't have the tools around it. I'm allergic to the cats. I'm not upset. Well, I am upset, but not upset enough. Isn't it so weird as well that I just it's so strange to me that I'm like, I have to state that I'm not physically upset, but I've said a lot of stuff that like I'm pissed off about.
Yeah,
And,
of course, of course. But Big, your new show, which I'm very excited to see at the Soho Theatre in December.
Yes.
Do you feel that this show is a coming of age, is a maturation plot for you?
I feel like years ago I would do stuff to avoid confrontation, and I'd be like, well, if I make myself small, then people won't be pissed off at me. Or if I make sure to reassure this contingent of people that I'm not against them, it's fine. I can do that. I can manipulate the world around me to suit me. But then you go through so many years and you're like, it's not the case. Like, the people that you try to reassure will always find something to be pissed off about because they're just threatened by you generally. So there's no amount of plumossing that you can do to that contingent, because they never will take what you say in good faith. So you just have to be true to yourself. And I think that's the thing. And the other thing that I found interesting was, I don't think I became a good stand-up comedian until I stopped caring about what people thought of me. And I think the first show that I did that was 2 shows ago. And I was scared to do the show called Wet. I was afraid because I was talking about a man who, like, I don't know how you would define, I don't think he sexually assaulted me, but he threatened my career in exchange for a sexual favor. God. And because he had done worse to my friend and he's a powerful person, I felt so powerless because I couldn't stop him. And I couldn't stop him. I think it drove me a bit mental. I think one of my like biggest like upsets was the feeling of powerlessness, and the because he's just going to continue what he's doing. There's nothing I can do to stop it. There's no protecting women. There was no protecting myself, and there was no protecting my friends. And I felt
this is before Me Too.
Yeah, and like then when Me Too happened, like there was a few people that like came out of the woodwork, comedians and art. He never will, because he's quite rich and litigious, but he can't stop me joking about him. I don't have to name him, and I never will name him, but I can joke about his cocaine habit, and that felt so powerful, and that felt great. And it's not like I'm never going to name him. I know what side the legal, I can't prove anything, but he can't stop me. He can't control my career in Ireland. I don't live in Ireland anymore. Like, he can't threaten me. But also, he's no power to stop me from joking about him. And I feel so free when I joke about him. It feels incredible. And with Big, there's no big baddie. There's no, like, one individual bad person. It's like society about being fat. And so, like, and also there's this other thing. I never wanted to acknowledge that I was fat, or like, because I had it acknowledged to me all the time. Like, people would call me it, like, strangers and stuff like that. So I felt like, well, other people are thinking about it enough. I don't need to think about it. And also, if I think about it too much, then they've won. And yeah, there was this weird kind of war in my head about that. So when I got to do Big, and it's like, I think it's because I've started losing weight, intentionally started to lose weight, I thought about it a lot more, and then I get to like express it, and I do jokes about it, and I feel like so powerful when I do stand up about stuff. Like, I can talk about feminism, I can, like, I don't think I could go on a serious show and talk about my feminism, but I could joke with you about the Rose of Chalet, because I feel safe doing that because I'm a comedian. And like, yeah, I'm very thankful to you and the Guilty Feminist for just allowing me to like explore stuff and just be. I've never thought of myself as intelligent.
Oh, are you kidding?
No.
God, this has become much more like a therapy session than I envisaged, but I really like it.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God.
It's fine, like. Yeah. And like,
Okay.
yeah, good. I don't sound good, but like, yeah, it has. So like,
Thank you for opening up and being vulnerable, but I just don't know how anyone could be unkind to you, Alison, because you're such a wonderful person, and I'm just so sorry so many people have been
it's fine.
unkind to you over the years, and I don't know why, because you are a joy and you are a beautiful person inside and out.
I think there's just like some dickheads in the world. I think I don't know. I'm not an armchair psychologist or whatever, but like I do think, you know, like when I wrote the article, like why can't all people be sound like hoes here or whatever, it was just kind of like weird. It's just, I think this is, I give off this kind of like, I think because I like wear mad clothes and I'm quite happy. I'm outwardly quite happy about life. I mean, like, that people find that a threat because I'm fat as well and I'm loud and
They want to see you like just wearing black and being sad.
they want me to dress like I'm working in a fucking Bookies or like, and so does New Look or any high street shop that sells stuff to fat people. It's always like office wear or rockabilly or flowers, and like it's just, I think I'm crying. I cry out of, I don't think I'm that sad. I think I'm angry. So like, yeah, it's annoying to me that when I'm angry I cry. You know, I grew up in like I grew up in a council estate, and I grew up being quite different. And I was always eccentric. And like, you know, my mates accepted me. But I never kind of fit into a box. I never fit into being like a proper woman. Like a woman who's into Prosecco and fashion. And I always was weird about, like, so weird. Because I didn't fit into stuff, I was like automatically distrustful of it or angry. And then, you know, I've mates that are into Prosecco and they're amazing. And then I'm like, Prosecco is actually quite good.
This is not an anti-Prosecco campaign, but I know what you
No.
mean. It's sort of like, you're meant to like these things.
You're meant to
And-
like these things. So I spent my life being like, well, I'm against that. And then like, so I think that would be angering to some people when, like, a lot of the time I was just existing. But then, like, when you exist and then people are like mad at you or physically threatening or whatever, it's like such a, I don't know, it's just a weird thing. So like I think I have a general kind of chip on my shoulder and a lack of confidence in some things because I felt like people will have prejudgments about me by my appearance or by my gender or by my class. And I never felt like a proper person in my class. And I think that's been my whole thing in life. It's been like this weird thing of never feeling quite at home. So that's kind of like why I like the Guilty Feminist in a way, you know? Because we're all just oddballs.
We're all odd.
We're all just odd. There's something a bit off of all of us.
Yeah.
And like, I've met some of my best friends from it and everything. And yeah, I'm just very thankful to have it. It's been great.
I have a very similar feeling. I think I only truly belong in spaces that I started.
Yeah.
And which is why I have a thing about starting a space, whether that be the Guilty Feminist or before that improv companies or, you know, other projects and things that I often start collaborative spaces.
Yeah.
Because then, you know, look, they can kick you out. It happens. Steve Jobs got fired from Apple. But
I love that. That's the most Deborah thing ever. So Steve Jobs did get fired from Apple. Yeah.
But not that he's my.
I know, but I'm
my
making
mentor,
it,
but you know what I mean. But
I do.
But it's much more difficult to get kicked out of a space you began, and I like starting collaborative spaces where people want to be. But I think I have a very similar thing to you that I feel. Would people want to hang out with me if I wasn't organising a fun thing? Do you know what I mean? If I wasn't organising a show, and I think that's sort of how I have my social connections with people. Is I go, here's a show. Would you like to come? Let's have a drink afterwards. And I think I don't really feel part of a gang very often. I grew up in a beach town where I was 5'9". I was, I was tall. I was never thin. I put a lot of weight when I became a Jehovah's Witness, and that the currency there was everyone was in a bikini a lot, and you had to be as skinny as possible, as short as possible. Not even big breasts, like
gender
flat,
norms.
Yeah, flat. They not flat chested, but they liked very petite girls with like. Women, to be honest, but who looked like girls. So I was always like explicitly, similar to you, like explicitly men would go out of their way to say to me that I wasn't attractive.
I'm glad I didn't fit in. Like I don't hate myself. It's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Like it's just like I don't hate myself. And I'm glad of that.
You shouldn't. You should absolutely adore yourself, because you are one of the most beloved people in comedy, certainly in the circles that I run in. People absolutely adore you.
I would love to see someone slag me after you.
They would not
try.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. But also, people genuinely do love you. All the Guilty Feminist comedians absolutely adore you. I think we don't do this vulnerability stuff enough. I suppose it's just the context of us sitting on a sofa and having a chat, but it's a good thing. Like, I think it's, because I think everyone's walking around holding this stuff, and we all think everyone else is sorted. So people see you and they go, Alison Spittle's just won all these awards and blah, 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 and she's had a sitcom and she's doing this now and she's doing that now. And, same as me, they're like, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that. We put our pictures on the grid. And other people think, oh, our lives are amazing. And actually, us being like, oh, yeah, we get really down, or the world is relentlessly pulverizes you and it makes you vulnerable, I think it's important.
We persist.
Nevertheless, she persisted.
Yeah.
Alison, do you have a favourite I'm a feminist but that you've confessed over the years? I've got a favourite one of yours.
Give it to me.
And I've got the clip set up.
Yeah.
Maybe this will inspire another one. This is a Vicar Street confession. Ned, can you play the clip?
I'm a feminist, but when I made enemies with a woman, the way I got revenge was I found out what her favourite karaoke song was to sing, and then learnt that karaoke song off by heart. And then when I saw her on a night out, I went up and sang it before she had the chance to sing.
Did you really do that?
I really did that.
What was the song?
Proud Mary. Left a good job in the city. Yeah, bitch, follow that. It's not even my favourite song to sing, Deborah.
It is now.
It means nothing to me.
Whereas it was the song...
I'm a feminist, but I love to be a little bitch. Sometimes. Yes.
That's a little bit subversive. It just made me laugh so much. The idea of you bothering to kind of practice her song.
I'm petty. That is one thing, again, I'm a petty feminist. So,
do you have a favourite I'm a feminist part of yours?
I think we've definitely talked about, like, the Tato man. I'm a feminist, but I fancy the Northern Irish Tato man, which is bad because I'm from the Republic of Ireland, but the Northern Irish Tato man.
Now, just to say, what is the Tato man?
Oh, so Mr. Tato is he's a mascot for a crisp company in Ireland. He's just a potato in a jacket, which I think is great, and a little hat. The Northern Irish one, there's two different mascots because I don't know if you know this, Deborah, but the island has been split in two due to some...
I do know something about this now you say.
Yeah. And
went smoothly though, didn't it? No one minded.
Fine. Yeah, we're still good. And I think I like the Northern Irish Mr. Tato because I like a bad boy. I see him as a bad boy. Yeah, he has a jaw. It's great. It's prominent.
For a long time, we used to get messages anytime anyone was in Ireland.
Beautiful.
Pictures of Mr. Tato, both the Republic of Ireland Mr. Tato and the Northern Irish Mr. Potato.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me so many things that, of course, to anybody who's not from a country, there are always eccentricities within that country.
Absolutely.
That seem totally normal if you live there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But weird as you like if you don't, and that's true of every single country in the world.
Yeah.
And you explaining the Irish ones was just a joy, and also the way you were such a great, always have been such a great passionate feminist for Ireland and also for the UK and the world. It's been a genuine pleasure to get to know you over the last 10 years through this show, and we've, I think, probably had more brilliant, hilarious laughter we cry and also serious conversations where we've cried with our guests who've been various activists, authors, artists. We've sat there nutting things out than we would have if we'd just gone to the pub every week.
Definitely. It's been brilliant. I think it's been 10 years and I think I have become more jaded, but I've become more confident. And just through chatting to you now, I feel a bit more hopeful. I think I came into this feeling not that hopeful because I haven't talked to you in a while. So it's great to...
My hope is completely renewed.
You just make shit happen.
I truly believe that the women and people of minority genders and good cisgendered men are going to rise up and go, absolutely not. We are not letting American Christian nationalists run our country.
I know.
And I feel like we're going to rise up and we're going to keep that element out. And I believe it. And I think all we have to do is let people know what they're really about. And this is starting now. You know, I wrote about this in my book and I thought people are going to think this is a conspiracy theory. But since the book went to bed...
Ireland knows, like, the abortion referendum, a lot of money was being pumped in by American hard-right Christians. Like the Iona Institute, which is this think tank to represent, like, Irish values. Like, Ireland has been a little petri dish for America, American Christian fundamentalists putting their money in to try and change the trajectory of the country, and it's sad that the UK is getting a taste of that now.
Yeah, really.
It is sad,
but
it seems to follow me.
But,
I
do you think that you're the target, and wherever you are, that's where it's going to happen?
Exactly, that's it.
I truly believe that we just need to get this word out, because reform are not going to deliver what people think they're going to deliver.
No.
And they are going to deliver a lot of terrible things that are happening in the United States of America right now. And I really, really want us to, of course, help our sisters and siblings in the United States, and also the best way we can do that is to keep this country one in which women and LGBTQ plus people have all their rights. And a lot of rights have been taken from trans people. And we can see how easily and quickly that happened. And I do not want that happening to... obviously, I want to fight to get those rights back, and I do not want any more being taken away.
I think we need to put our efforts into, like, grassroots community.
100%. I'm excited about it. I have a grassroots community project coming up in January, and under the Road to Gilead banner, which isn't announced yet, but I'll tell you. And watch this space if you're listening or watching this. And a bunch of shows coming up. You're going to do one.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Yeah,
very excited.
I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
So, what date is yours? Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll
find out. Yeah, I was going to pick up my tissues and go...
Let's get the voiceover of me.
It has...
the 16th of it?
Is it 16th?
No.
It's been absolutely wonderful to sit and talk to you today. Is there anything you came to say that you didn't get to say?
I don't think so. No, thank you. Did I get to say thank you?
Thank you. I'm glad you're feeling more...
And thanks to the
hopeful.
audience.
Yes, thanks to the Guilty Feminist audience. So much thanks to the Guilty Feminist audience. You're all amazing. Yeah. And I'm glad that you're feeling more hopeful. I I don't think we're more jaded. I think we're just more worldly wise. We understand how it works a lot more now, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to take what we know. We're not going to let ourselves become cynical and bitter.
Yes.
We're going to become, we're wiser.
I would just like a win. You see, my problem with feminism and getting involved in anything political is that, like, I've been involved in referendums and they've won. You know, like the same marriage,
repeal the 8th.
same sex. Yes, and we won repeal the 8th. And Catherine Connolly, who's great, she's amazing. She's the new president of Ireland.
Yes,
and she believes in neutrality, which I think is very important for Ireland. And she's a pacifist, and I think she's incredible.
That's a huge win.
Yeah,
Look at
that
all
is
your
a huge
wins.
win. There we go. Actually, what am I doing? Very happy about that. Yay!
We can win more, Alison. Together.
Definitely. Are we shaking hands?
Shaking hands.
Let's shake on it.
This is the shake of feminist solidarity.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice to have a cry on camera.
Yeah. No, I did it totally with Davina McCall, but she's like a snake charmer. She's just like,
She just like,
trust in me.
Yeah.
Like, brilliantly. She's wonderful. She's got so much empathy. And
she's
it's
a
just,
tear fluffer.
she's amazing. Yeah,
she gets it
there's a
going.
reason she does her job. Like, yeah, she's really good.
Eric Clapton's girlfriend when she was 15.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Did what?
Do what?
She was Eric Clapton's girlfriend when she was 15.
Who was? Davina McCall?
Cool, yeah. She was a groupie when she was a teenager.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't think he should have had a 15-year-old girlfriend.
No!
Yeah.
My lord. Yes.
That can be in the outtake.
No, let's end on that.
You have been listening to The Guilty Feminist with me, Deborah Frances-White, and my very special guest, Alison Spittle. The Guilty Feminist theme tune was composed by Mark Hodge. The producers for The Spontaneity Shop were Ned Sedgwick and Tom Zielinski. Thanks to Gina DCO, Zainab Mohammed, and all of you for listening. For more information about this and other episodes, visit guiltyfeminist.com.